to really champion little girls, and especially little black girls, to be physically strong, and that is feminine. And I don't know when we started thinking of feminine as this like dainty sort of damsel in distress. I think, you know, you talk about women like Serena Williams and how sometimes she's seen as less feminine. It's crazy. I mean, what do you think about that?
So with for instance, Edge of Here, I was writing the kind of stories that I wanted black women to experience, because oftentimes people write about black women and then it's trauma, 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 and that's okay, that reflects a lot of our kind of experiences, but we have to be able to write something else into existence. And so with Strong Like Me, I wanted to write the book that, you know, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 5-year-old me would have been able to pick up and read and not feel so kind of out of sorts in the world. Like I've always, for as long as I remember, I've always been really athletic. I've always had a particular build and, you know, moved through the world in a particular way. So if I wasn't on stage, like being a Christmas tree in the school play, like I was like, you know, running and doing all of and playing sports. And one of my favorite parts of being an air cadet when I was a teenager was the fact that I was, you know, captain of the sports teams. I was also captain of the sports team, or head of sports when I was in high school. So I've always liked sports, but then the way that people would speak about it and speak about me and my body always made me feel like, oh, this isn't what you're meant to be doing.
Like you can't be both.
Yeah, you can't have both things. You know, it was really weird. And noticing just how many young girls, not just black girls, a lot of young girls drop out of sports around 15. And so I wanted to kind of counter that. And when we think about femininity as well as masculinity, patriarchy, but specifically white supremacist heteropatriarchy has usurped these terms. So we don't know what they mean really anymore. We can't really talk about femininity and masculinity anymore without entering into false dichotomies that have been created for us to understand these things. It's really hard for, ask somebody now to describe what's feminine. They'll start talking about, oh, because it's soft and then it receives and then and you're like, what? But masculine is about action and da-da-da-da-da, and it's like, that's not, can you see it's not making sense? We don't know what we're talking about anymore. Look at Serena Williams. To me, she is so like womanly, or whatever you want to call it. There's just an energy about her that I just think is so amazing. But then I, at the same time, will read comments about her. I'm like, what are you talking about? But again, it's because of the, again, like I said, this false dichotomy that's been created. If we really go